Well, brothers and sisters, today is my 19th video. The topic for this video is be bold, take the risk no matter the danger ahead, and decide whether to go forward or stay where you are. Be bold, take the risk no matter the danger ahead, and decide whether to go forward or stay where you are. This is in support of my disability ministry, a ministry supporting disabled people and people who are suffering and crying. We had this version from the biblical verse, 2 Kings 7:3-10. This is in connection with the 4 lepers. The 4 lepers said to themselves, if we go, we will die. And if we stay, we will also die. It will therefore be better to go no matter what. And what do you yourself do with the beginning of 2019? The story goes this way. The king of Syria sent his army against Samaria, and they surrounded the capital city. And with the city surrounded, the people could not go out to get food, and so a terrible famine gripped the city. The people were starving in this desperate situation to the extent that they resorted to cannibalism. Outside the city wall were 4 lepers. They were not allowed into the city because of their leprosy. They were in an even worse situation than the people inside the city walls. There are some lessons we can learn from these men that could even help us towards our conversion to life, to Christ, progress and success in life. Firstly, they were leprous. We see it in 2 Kings 7:3. In the book of Leviticus 13:1, we have been made to understand that leprosy is spoken of as illustration of sin. And this means when someone is leprous, then he is utterly unclean. Secondly, these men were dying, and they said to each other, if we enter the city, then there is famine in the city, and we shall die. And if we sit here, we die also of starvation. So the question was whether to stay or to go forward. These men faced death no matter whether they stayed there or went into the city. So what will you do when you are confronted with this dilemma in your life? Thirdly, they said among themselves, why do we sit here and die? Why at all do we have to sit here and die? Fourthly, they rose up in the evening to go on to the camp of the Syrians. And when they came to the uttermost part of a Syrian camp, behold, there was no man there. Listen, as they sat, thinking as to whether to go forward or to stay, they were bold enough to move and went into the camp of Assyrians. Because, well, when they sat, they would die. And when they go, they would die. So take a bold step. In any situation in your life, keep asking yourself, whether it is better to go forward or to stay where you are. Take a bold step. The year is coming for 2019. What step do you take? Fourthly, they rose up in the evening. They went into the camp, and there was no man there. They went into the tent, and there was so much food to eat, so much silver, wealth, and everything for them. Listen, now there is food. Imagine they had stayed where they were. Would they have got this? No. Would they have got the wealth? No. So what do you yourself tell yourself? Shortly, what do we learn from this story? Brothers and sisters, you know, God uses those whom society marginalizes. So we see in 1 Corinthians 1:26 to 28, particularly the disabled, the dehumanized people, like these 4 lepers, you know, to do a lot of things. These 4 lepers, living through times of suffering and dehumanization, decided it would be better to surrender than to starve. Can you take such a bold decision? On entering the enemy camp, they discovered that it was empty. And the Lord here had caused the Syrian army to hear chariots, soldiers, and the entire army had fled in confusion. Often we take path to see God's supernatural activity waiting for us. Remember that. Secondly, there is always a providential blessing on your life. And it always operates when we meet difficult situations. It was this providential move of God that caused the Syrian army to flee from their tents, leaving everything behind. Thirdly, there is the exceeding riches of grace in his kindness towards us through Jesus Christ. We see this in Ephesians 2:7. Which are riches both of wisdom and knowledge of God. Romans 11:33. These men went into the abundant tents of a Syrian and carried out armloads of silver, gold, and expensive clothing. Remember, brethren, when you rise up and come to Christ, you too will get what you need. God will give you the exceeding riches of his grace, and you will be loaded down with the riches, both the wisdom and the knowledge of God. Fourthly, they had been leprous men, dying from starvation, shut out from the city, waiting to die. They reasoned that and thought about their situation, and they said, why do we sit here and die? They rose and went and got what they needed and all that their heart desired. They had been providentially prepared for by God. Now, I ask you, brothers and sisters, or ask yourself, the year is coming, 2019, and why do you sit here until you die? Make a bold step. No matter how sinful you think you are, rise up and take a step and come to the Savior. He will take you in his bleeding arms and save you and give you spiritual riches and beyond anything you could imagine or hope for. Brothers and sisters, There have been many people who have taken bold steps to survive. And because they took this bold step in critical situation, they came to succeed. What are you doing as the 2019 is coming? I hope you will join me, take bold steps instead of being at where we are, and go forward. And I know success will come your way. Blessings will come your way. And God will always be on your side. This is my 19th video in support of my disability ministry. God richly bless you.